If you want to understand why some folks over 50 are sharper, steadier, and sleeping deeper well into their later decades, don't go looking at their supplement shelf and don't go looking at their gym schedule. Look somewhere much closer to home. Something most doctors have never once raised in that 12-minute appointment. Well, hello there, my people. Pull up close. What we are discussing today may be the most overlooked protection a body over 50 has access to. It supports your hormones, your heart, your immune system, and your mind. Physicians skip this conversation entirely. The appointment runs short, the guidelines do not cover it, and nothing about it fits inside a pill bottle. But the old ways knew it. The world is finally catching up. My name is Jada Brown. For over 50 years, I have been carrying the wellness wisdom my mother passed to me, rooted in the Caribbean traditions of our family. Kitchen remedies, morning tonics. The things Black women were doing long before anyone put a label on it and called it wellness. I show up here because my people deserve these conversations spoken plainly. Now, the women in my family have always said that every sickness begins in the belly. That is where your hormones get regulated, your inflammation gets managed, and your immune system either stays alert or goes quiet. Modern researchers are now mapping exactly what those elders described for generations. The gut governs immunity, hormone balance, and sleep. We begin there always. My grandmother lived past 85. Her mother before her lived past 80. The women in our Caribbean community who stayed physically close to their partners held their vitality differently into old age. 5 generations of women I have watched or heard spoken of. Those who stayed warm and connected carried fewer of the slow conditions that grind people down later. When I was coming up, the elders said a woman who stays close stays whole. The researchers are arriving now to confirm what those women already lived. One of these 5 things is going to surprise you. 9 out of 10 folks I share this with are focused on the obvious physical changes and miss the one that matters most long term. The order is deliberate. Each builds on what came before. Stay all the way through, because number 1 is what your brain is counting on. Before we go any further, drop a comment below right now. Tell me your age and tell me whether you have ever truly considered intimacy as something that protects your health. I read every single comment on this channel, and your answers shape what I bring to you next. In this video, I am going to walk you through the hormone channel that daily intimacy quietly keeps open in the body after 50. The cardiovascular lift that works your heart the same way a brisk walk does. The inflammation response most older adults have never been told they can trigger naturally. The gut and immune connection quietly at stake after 60. And the master protection, the single most important thing I can share about keeping your mind strong in these years. One quick ask before we begin. If you have not subscribed yet, tap that button now. 2 seconds, no cost, and it helps this kind of old school wisdom reach more seniors who need it. Number 5 is something too many of my people have quietly decided is finished after a certain age, and that is your body's own hormone activity. Physical intimacy signals the brain through the hypothalamic pituitary pathway, prompting the release of luteinizing hormone. That signal tells your glands to stay active in their production. Think of it as a pump at the head of a river. After 50, that pump naturally slows, and regular intimacy is one of the few things that keeps it turning. After menopause and the testosterone decline men move through in their 50s, hormone levels can drop by 40 to 60%. That drop connects directly to joint stiffness, mood shifts, and slower healing. The women in my grandmother's community watched across generations that those who stayed physically close held their energy longer. The laboratories are confirming it now. They arrived after the tradition had already lived it. 3 to 4 times weekly is a meaningful target. Pair that with 15 minutes of morning sunlight to reinforce the same signaling pathways. Number 4 brings us to your heart, and this one surprises folks. Number 4 is your cardiovascular system. Many adults over 60 have been quietly talked out of anything that raises the heart rate, child. That caution is costing them. Physical intimacy produces a cardiovascular response similar to a brisk walk. The heart rate rises moderately, blood vessels dilate, and nitric oxide production increases. Nitric oxide keeps arterial walls flexible and blood moving freely. After 60, arterial stiffness increases by roughly 30% in most adults. Dorothy, 72, a retired teacher from Savannah, Georgia, came to me short of breath on her morning walks. What had been overlooked was that her cardiovascular system had gone almost entirely sedentary. 8 weeks after she and her husband began reconnecting with care and intention, her resting heart rate had improved by 16%. She told me, Jada, I walked to the corner store and did not have to stop once. Pair regular intimacy with a daily walk. Number 3, carry something underneath it that I need you to hold on to. Number 3 is your immune system. Intimacy triggers the release of immunoglobulin A and DHEA, compounds that signal your white blood cells to stay alert. Think of your immune system as a crew of workers who need regular dispatching. Without the signal, over time, they stand down. 5 generations of women in our community who stayed partnered and closely connected showed fewer of the slow inflammatory conditions that wear people down in later years. My mama used to say that loneliness dries a person from the inside. She was speaking about the body. Now, here is something I need you to understand about the ground beneath all of this. After 50, your gut loses 30 to 40% of its beneficial bacteria. Probiotics alone cannot restore what has been lost. Without prebiotic fiber to feed those bacteria, and without postbiotics, the healing compounds the bacteria themselves produce when they are working correctly, the repair stays incomplete. It is like planting seeds with no compost underneath. All 3 must work together or none of them take hold. Hold that. Number 2 is about pain, and there is more here than most people expect. Number 2 is your body's natural ability to manage pain and inflammation. During intimacy, the brain releases endorphins and oxytocin, working on the same neural pathways involved in pain signaling. These are your body's original relief compounds built in long before any pharmacy existed. After 60, chronic low-level inflammation increases throughout the body, showing up as stiff mornings, aching joints, and tissues slow to heal. Adults in close, long-partnered relationships show lower inflammatory markers over time. When I was coming up, nobody in our community waited for a doctor's permission to call closeness medicine. If you are managing joint conditions or take blood thinners or anti-inflammatory medications, please speak to your doctor before adjusting your daily routine. A warm bath beforehand eases joint tension and lets the body receive more fully. Now, if you have stayed with me this far, baby, number 1 is worth every minute. Let me pause here for a moment. The question I hear most from folks is what I use to keep that gut foundation strong, the one that allows everything else to hold together. What I have landed on is BoochBod, a daily kombucha gummy that brings together prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics in one piece. It carries lactospore and postbiotics LM1004, 2 clinically studied strains, alongside dandelion root, the same root Caribbean grandmothers steeped into their morning tonics long before it had a name on any shelf. Over 30,000 people are already using it. It is a gummy, not a pill, which matters to many of us. The link is in the description. And always speak to your doctor before starting any supplement. And now we arrive at the most important of the 5. Number 1 is your brain. Physical intimacy triggers the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, what researchers call BDNF. This compound acts as fertilizer for your neurons, supporting the growth of new connections between brain cells, the very process that protects against cognitive decline. Think of BDNF as the compost that keeps a garden producing instead of going dry. After 60, BDNF production drops by roughly 30 to 40% without intervention. That drop connects directly to memory fog, slower processing, and the quiet early signs of cognitive worry that many seniors carry privately. The old healers in our lineage said it plainly. A person who stays fully alive in the body keeps their mind from wandering. They were describing this process without the word for it. The tradition observed it first. Research arrived later. Harold, 76, a retired postal worker from Eugene, Oregon, came to me after his daughter noticed he was searching for words more often than before. What had been overlooked was that Harold and his wife had grown quiet and distant over several years. Within 3 months of intentional reconnection, Harold reported a 28% improvement in the word recall he had been tracking alongside his daughter. He told me, Jada, my girl says I sound like my old self again. And I feel like it too. Start today. Morning light, gentle movement, and closeness together. Your brain responds to all 3. After 50 years of watching what actually works, here are 3 things to carry with you. Tip 1, timing matters. Hormone levels run naturally higher in the morning hours. Intimacy then works with your biology, not against it. Tip 2, consistency over occasion. 3 gentle, connected moments through the week do more for your heart and your mind than one intense occasion every few weeks. The body responds to rhythm. Tip 3, warmth opens everything. A brief warm bath or a cup of ginger tea beforehand relaxes blood vessels and lets the body receive what it is being given more fully. 3 mistakes I see most often. Mistake 1, waiting for desire before beginning. After 50, desire often follows action rather than leading it. Begin gently. The feeling tends to follow. Mistake 2, treating this as a younger person's territory. Intimacy at 70 carries a different and often deeper form of care. Giving that away is a real loss. Mistake 3, neglecting the gut foundation. The hormone, cardiovascular, and brain benefits we talked about today land more fully in a body whose internal terrain is strong. Let me say something plain, my people. What we have been talking about is the life you are protecting. Your mornings in the garden, being sharp and present when your grandchildren call, the Sunday phone call where you show up fully yourself. Your independence. It is never too late. I have watched women at 79 reclaim their vitality. I have seen men at 80 rediscover what feeling well from the inside means. The body at this age still knows how to heal. You are the driver of this body and always have been. Let me lock this in for you. Number 5, regular intimacy supports the hormone signaling your body was designed to keep producing after 50. Number 4, it gives your heart a meaningful cardiovascular workout and keeps your arteries flexible. Number 3, it activates your immune response and helps keep inflammation lower over time. Number 2, it releases your body's natural pain management compounds through endorphins and oxytocin. Number 1, it protects your brain through BDNF, keeping your neurons growing and connecting well into your later years. If this reached you today, subscribe and pass it along to someone you love. A spouse, a sibling, your oldest friend who has been carrying quiet worry about their health. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these 5 you are starting with first. I read every single comment on this channel. And whenever you are ready, the BoochBod link is right there in the description waiting for you. Until next time, take good care of yourself.